Hey, how y'all doing? It's a Sunday afternoon. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna try to cook some good old ribs. I got some baby back ribs. They were on sale at the store. We'll give that a shot, put that out there on the Cajun Bandit smoke kit. We're gonna do 3 racks, y'all. I'm gonna rub them down. I've got some of this island rub here, or the Pirate Johnny's. I'm gonna get that, throw that on there. We're gonna get the ribs. Man, they're gonna be good. We're gonna try to do them low and slow. And I've been talking to my friend over there at Louisiana Cajun Recipes, JB. He's been helping me out, trying to give me, tips and pointers, man. He knows it all there. And I'm gonna try to follow some of his directions and throw some ribs on the grill, man. Hopefully they'll be real good. Thank y'all. Let me go ahead and get these ribs prepared for you. All right, y'all, the rub I want to use today on the ribs is going to be this little Pirate Johnny's right here. This sweet island rub. It's some good sweet rub. Got some heat to it too. Just a lot of good spices. So we're going to try this Pirate Johnny's. Kick it off here with these pork ribs, y'all. Baby backs. Let's go. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and prepare the ribs. Like I said, I got these baby backs here. Prepare them to get on the grill. What we want to do, we want to take this membrane off the back of the bone. Okay, so the best way to do that, in fact, let me kind of trim up some of this stuff. Just take a little knife or something like that, and you want to go in here and you just want to get underneath that membrane. Okay, just want to get it started to being pulled up. Okay, and once you do that, you want to get a paper towel, but you want to get it started first. Get a paper towel, and then we're just going to pull it. I'll show you. So you just want to pull this membrane back. Just want to get a good grip of it. Another good way is just go ahead and get a paper towel, and you just want to see. I'm just ripping it back right there. We just want to keep doing that until we get it all removed from the back of the baby backs. Alright, y'all, so I got that membrane peeled off the back. And I'm sorry, I didn't do too good of a video take on that. Basically what you do is you get underneath there with a butter knife, you grab a paper towel and just peel it off the back. It's real simple. There's a lot of videos on how to do that. Peel the membrane off the back, y'all. Seriously, it's not that bad a deal. Let me go ahead and show you what you need to do as far as the rub. What I'm going to use this Pirate Johnny's here. Pirate Johnny's Sweet Island Rub. This is some fine stuff, y'all. Go ahead and you don't put as much rub on ribs as you do with Austin, but per JB, he says that you'll overpower the taste. But I'm just going to kind of shake this on here like so. Get a good little coat, not too much. You don't have to put it on the back side because like that, you'll never taste the. You don't sit there and lick the bones on the back side. So there's no point in that. You just want to put your rub here on the front. And go ahead and sprinkle a good little bit here on the front there, and we're gonna go ahead and prepare the grill. Anyway, I said Pirate Johnny's Sweet Island Rub going on the ribs today. Notice this too, I didn't put any mustard on the ribs. You don't have to do that. I am, however, putting a little bit of olive oil here on the ribs. Now I'll kind of smather that around just a bit, and I'll put some more of this rub on here. Let me show you. So after I put that little bit of olive oil on there, I'm going to hit it with just a little bit more of the Pirate Johnny's just to get enough of the rub on there. Now, something you really need to think about when you're using the rub, like a store-bought rub or something, you don't want to use something with too much salt. And that's why I've tasted this Pirate Johnny. There's some good stuff. Doesn't have too much salt in it. It's got some sugar. That's the main thing you want to use in a rub like this. This is some kick butt rub, y'all. Let's roll with it. Alright, y'all, so we're going to let these sit here, marinate for a little bit with this rub on here. When we go out, when we get to the grill, let's get this done. Alright, y'all, so I'm going to go ahead and get the grill ready. I took my center pieces out there. You've seen me do this before. This is my method of lighting charcoal. And we're going to light those in the little chimney. Let's roll with this. So I'm gonna light my charcoal first. I'm gonna light my little can of sterno, set the charcoal on top of it, get it started first, and then we'll roll with it. All right, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and light the grill up. We're gonna put just some wood charcoal right here in the middle, okay? And then we got all the wood chunks and everything there on the outside. That's how we're gonna do with this rib setup. How y'all doing? Okay, what we're gonna do, we're about to put the ribs on the grill. I got my good friend here, Jonathan Halson. He's got a website set up. This guy is a competition barbecue cooker. I mean, this guy does it all. I mean, I brought him over here. I said, man, look, I'm about to start these ribs. Show me how it's done. Exactly, I've been talking, conversing with JB and everything like that. But I said, hell, my friend lives right down the street. I said, come on over here, watch me do this. He's got a website he's got set up, sells barbecue stuff and everything like this. They do competition cooks. Man, they do it all. So what he's going to do is kind of guide me through putting the ribs on here and talk a little bit about information about, kind of what the pros do. That's what we're trying to figure out. How can I make my ribs, those ribs to where everybody's going to come back every time. But man, this guy makes the best ribs ever. Anyway, Jonathan, I'm going to go ahead and introduce him.
How's it going? What we're going to do today is we're going to put these ribs on. Joe's already rubbed them down. These are some baby backs. And he's pulled that membrane off the back of them. We'll set these down. We're smoking over a little charcoal today, some hickory. Once we get the ribs and everything set on there, we don't want them to, we want to allow enough space in between each rack of ribs to allow the air to move around them so that smoke can circulate and permeate the meat. Once we get the ribs on there, we're going to want to put these on, let them smoke with that hardwood on there, that hickory, for a couple of hours. I say about 3, at about 225 degrees. Then we'll check them.
Okay, so we've got our iGrill 2 kicking here. We're going to put the dampers down. He said 225. I think, yeah, there's a top over there. 225 with what we're using hickory here. Tell us a little bit about the cuts. You were talking to me earlier about different cuts of ribs.
Different cuts. What we put on here are baby backs. It's closer to the loin. It's what we would consider almost like a white pork compared to your spare ribs, which is closer to the bacon. The baby backs are smaller ribs. Usually have a little taller meat on them. It's just a different cut. In your MBN circuits, which is your Memphis Barbecue Network, they lean more towards baby back and loin back. With your KCBS Kansas City, they use the St. Louis cut.
Okay. And the St. Louis cut, I take it, is closer to the bacon, and the baby back is closer to the tenderloin. So if you like a leaner rib, is it safe to say go with the baby back? Yeah. If it's more fat, go with the St. Louis.
It's sort of the difference in white meat and dark meat on chicken.
Okay.
It's closer to it. It's the leaner meat's going to have sort of more of that loin flavor to it, like a pork tenderloin, where like a thigh meat is a little darker. Which your spare ribs, which is lower down here on the pig, it's going to have more fat to it.
Let me ask you this, Jonathan. When y'all are in competition, I mean, how does this go? Do you use the 3-2-1 method, or y'all just go straight, low and slow?
We usually use a 3-2-1 method, which is we'll smoke for 3 hours, and then we use variation depending on what area you're in. We're using hickory today. I use a lot of cherry wood, sometimes with pecan, hickory. It really just depends on what we want to eat for lunch next week.
Okay, cool. So pecan. I know there's a lot of flavor in that pecan wood. You got to be careful with that. That's another thing we were talking about earlier is you don't want to put too much wood on the fire.
You only want to smoke for about the first 3 hours. You only want wood on there for about 3 hours. If you don't, you're going to get a real dark color on the meat. And we eat with our eyes, as we know. So we want it to have a mahogany color. We want to get good flavor of the smoke, but we don't want it to be real dark. So we smoke for about 3 hours, and then If you're not familiar with the 3-2-1 method, that's smoke for 3. We wrap them in aluminum foil for 2 hours, which is more of a braising concept where it actually cooks in its own liquid. Sometimes you can add apple juice, butter, brown sugar. That's your traditional.
And that's something that y'all would do for competition. Today we're just at the home barbecue, so we're just gonna go just through. We're not gonna do 3-2-1. We'll do that in another video, but that's an excellent method to get it to where it needs to be.
Right. The 3-2-1 method is, the pros use it every day, but even the backyard guy can use it because it helps with the tenderization process.
Right. You got to be careful because you don't want to get too tender. You don't want your ribs to just. It's all about taste, you know.
It's a preference.
Right.
It is.
So what the pros, they're pretty much looking for that perfect bite. You know, when they bite a rib, they want it to be that bite mark. They don't want it to totally fall off the bone. But then again, in a backyard cook, a lot of people like that, just totally fall off the bone.
Exactly. A lot of people always come to us and they're saying, "Hey man, cook us competition barbecue." You wouldn't really want competition barbecue in your backyard party because it's more heavily seasoned. Because when a judge eats that barbecue, you've only got one bite to wow them. They don't usually sit there and eat the whole rib because they've got to try 6 to 8 different entries every time.
Right.
So they take one bite and set it down and judge it and go to the next one. Your backyard barbecue is more tender than a competition barbecue. With competition barbecue, it's a bite through, just like you said. They want to see moisture on the bone. They don't want to see a white bone come through there. They want to bite through that and leave a bite mark on the rib. Where at home, hey, we always hear fall apart tender. It was falling off the bones. So we cook them a little more with that method.
Okay, cool. As far as is going for the judges and stuff like this, I mean, what would you suggest as far as opening up the grill? A lot of people want to do some spritzing. They want to get in there and they want to spritz the ribs. They want to sauce the ribs. Is it better just to leave it shut and just roll on with it, or to get in there and fool it?
In this particular cooker, the Weber that we're using a water pan. Some of the other cookers have water baths in it. With the water, it's added moisture to it, so it helps. You can spritz. It just adds a little extra moisture to it. Some people inject their ribs. Some people don't inject their ribs. This one, we just did a good dry rub on it. And we've got a water pan with a little apple juice in it. You can spritz it, but you just remember, every time you open that lid of your grill, that door of your smoker, you're letting all that heat and stuff out. So it adds to your cook time. But
what would they say when you're looking, you're not cooking? Right. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, like I said, we're hearing from the pro here today. So we're just gonna roll on with these ribs and try to get it going with. I've got a simple Weber one-touch silver. It's a $99 grill, and then I added the Cajun Bandit stack kit guy over there in Louisiana. It's a great deal for somebody. You want to do it on a budget. You just want to cook, smoke a little bit of thing. This is a cool deal. So anyway, we'll keep on going with this, and we'll touch back with y'all in a bit. All right, so we've been cooking about 4 or 5 hours. We're gonna smoke these ribs. Go ahead with it. Actually, a friend of mine is gonna pull them off. Let's go ahead and pull some ribs off. Okay, so anyway, he's about to pull the ribs off. Let them sit wrapped in foil for a minute.
What we're going to do is we've let these smoke at about 225 degrees for a couple of hours, about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. We're going to put these on aluminum foil, and we're just adding a little bit of liquid to it. This is just an apple juice. It's just adding a little bit of moisture back to the rib. We're going to wrap it, double wrap it in tin foil, and allow it to steam in that apple juice and its own natural juices. I'm not trying to get any more smoke to the meat. I've got all the smoke that I want to it. And by doing this, it's sort of like braising, by allowing it to steam or boil in its own juices. It's going to finish breaking down all the connective tissue in the rib and make it tender. So I'm going to double wrap these ribs in this aluminum foil. Put them back on the grill. And we're going to let them cook for about another hour like that. Get my tongs. And then after that 1 hour of cooking in that wrapped in foil, see how look at that, they're bending, but we want them to break apart. We want them to be tender. All that connective tissue to be broke down. So after we let them sit in that tin foil for about an hour, we'll unwrap them. They're going to be pull apart tender. They're going to be fall off the bone. Almost so tender you wouldn't be able to pick them up. We're going to take them out of that foil very gently. Put them back on the grill and allow them to tighten back up, firm up just a little bit. And then they'll be ready to add a little barbecue sauce. A lot of people make the mistake of putting barbecue sauce on too soon. All your barbecue sauces are full of sugar. That sugar burns too soon. We want to caramelize it. So even if you're using a store-bought barbecue sauce or a homemade barbecue sauce, you always want to reduce it down and make it more of a glaze, because it's going to tighten up on the meat as it cooks. And it'll help with the burning process, and it'll keep it from burning as easy. But look at that, we got them wrapped up, still at about 225 degrees. We're gonna let them cook for about another hour or so.
Okay, cool.
All right, here's what we've done. We put those ribs in the tin foil with a little bit of apple juice, a little moisture. We'll let them cook for about an hour, 225 degrees. I pulled them out of the tin foil, put them back on the grill. You got to be very careful and use the right tool. You want to get some long handled tongs and pull them in. By cooking them in that tin foil, it's broke down all the connective tissue and made it almost like pulled pork. You could literally just pick it up and pull the bone out of it. And that is fall off the bone tender, but we want these ribs to have a presence where we can actually pick them up, slice them, and serve them. By taking them out of that tin foil, we're going to put them back on the grill at 225 degrees for about another 45 minutes to an hour. And the last 30 minutes, we'll put a little barbecue sauce on them and glaze them up. All right, the ribs have been sitting on the grill for about the last hour or so, probably 30, 45 minutes. What we're fixing to start doing is putting a light brushing of some barbecue sauce on them, or a rib glaze. If you like your ribs, what they call served dry, you don't have to put any sauce on it. You're not looking for anything heavy. And if you want to you make your own barbecue sauce, or even use a traditional style, I always recommend thinning it down a little bit. It's going to thicken up as it sets on the meat. And you want the barbecue sauce to complement the rub. We're not trying to overpower the pork in any way. We just want to add a nice little sweetness to it. We'll balance that spice. The secret to barbecue, whether you're cooking it in the backyard or in the cul-de-sac or out on the competition circuit, is balance. You want a balance of sweet and heat. I'm going to leave one of those. I'm going to put a little bit. This is a little homemade sauce that I made. We're putting on this one. We're going to paint it up real good. And then this other sauce that we're going to use, let me grab it. This is another barbecue sauce that we use, Diego's Cajun sweet pecan garlic sauce. They sent this to us. You want to make sure you can try that. You can always go to the website and purchase some of that. I'm going to pour a little bit on there. It's a little bit thicker than that other sauce. And like I said, you want to put barbecue sauce on barbecue chicken or ribs within the last about 30 minutes or so. Just enough time for it to set in and sort of, you don't want to put it on too thick. Like I said, if you put it on too early, it'll burn. The sugars and stuff in it will burn. You'll get that black taste, the black look. But hey, Let me tell you something, that is some good looking ribs right there. They've been cooking for almost 6 hours. Pretty much open. We wrapped them in the tinfoil a little while ago just to sort of loosen them up a little bit. 225 degrees. Get you a little zoom in right there. Joe's gonna kill me. That is some fine eating. But we'll let them sit for like the next 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Let them sit with that barbecue sauce on it, and we'll take them off and tell you what we think. All right, guys, it's been about 20 minutes or so. We're getting ready. We've already glazed the ribs. We're getting ready to take them off. We're gonna get this down like this. Look at those. They are beautiful baby backs. Been cooking for about 5.5, 6 hours. Oh. Like I said, we let them set up with that glaze on them. This is going to be a dry wrap right here, and look, they're going to fall. They're going to be tender, tender, tender. And that right there broke in half on us. You can put that back together. Check that out. That is beautiful. This is that rack of ribs that we did with the pecan glaze, pecan and garlic glaze. And this is the rack we did with the munchy sauce. That's my personal barbecue sauce. Look at that right there. That is, look at that. That's what we're talking about right there. Fall off the bone. Well, thank y'all for tuning in with us. Beautiful Good Eats Barbecue.